The world does not care about the unseen. This topic can be shown to be true in a matter of many examples. It's similar to the saying that if slaughterhouses were made of glass, nobody would eat meat. The context behind this is that the brutal killings and unhygienic living standards inside these slaughterhouses would disgust people to never want to eat meat again. But since what happens inside of slaughterhouses are for the most part unseen by the majority of the population, we don't mind eating it. Or also why the US military generals and high-ranking officers can easily call airstrikes or atomic bombs from across the world with just the press of a button. Because they don't see the innocent lives at risk right before they do press that button. So the high damage and loss of lives are all unseen until days later, when footage emerges. These two examples both have one thing in common, which is the factor of the unseen, which makes it easier to make choices. But those choices aren't always the best. Which is also why people take abortion pills, because they don't see the effects necessarily taking place in front of their eyes. This is what I mean here in a short clip.
A woman took mifepristone, a pill that induces an abortion, during a live TV interview in an effort to prove they are, quote, safe and easy. That is this week's Speak Out segment. Abortion activist Jex Blackmore recently joined Fox 2 Detroit for a panel discussion where she was defending pro-abortion rhetoric. During her interview, Blackmore took a mifepristone pill. This is the first pill in the chemical abortion regimen, which blocks progesterone, the hormone that helps a baby growing in the womb get the nutrients they need to live. Take a look.
This here is mifepristone. This is the first of two pills you would take to end a pregnancy, and it would induce an abortion, this very pill, by blocking the hormone and allowing a pregnancy to grow. And I want to show you how easy it is and safe it is by taking it myself.
You're taking it. Are you? You're not pregnant, are you?
Blackmore went on to say that yes, she was pregnant and that this was her third abortion. In reality, these pills are far from a safe, easy, painless procedure. The regimen has been proven to be 4 times riskier than surgical abortion and can lead to severe heavy bleeding, incomplete abortions, and even death. Abortionists want to turn every post office and pharmacy into an abortion center for profit, regardless of the safety and well-being of women.
Just look at how untouched she looks. She doesn't even care because she may not even see her baby dying. But sadly, that baby has. So how does this all tie into Christianity? We've gotten to a point in the world where people do not care about the afterlife or the unseen world just because they don't see it. I mean, some people don't even believe in the spiritual realm, or that we're in a battle each and every day, which is why they are so, or can be, so easily attacked in warfare. Because they aren't even aware of the war in the first place. We shouldn't have to have something in front of our faces to believe it. And if this statement sounds crazy to you, ask yourself how many secular things that you have believed your whole life that you have never seen with your own 2 eyes, but it's normal to you. Jesus says, those who believe without seeing are blessed. Oftentimes, as Christians, we preach that we must have faith in Jesus Christ, but not so much of what faith looks like in real life. and what the true meaning of walking by faith and not by sight is. What this means is that your walk in life should not be based upon what you can only see, but instead the belief behind what you don't see, including your trust in Jesus, that all of his promises will come true before they have. Now I'd like to go back to a verse that I mentioned a few moments prior. In the Gospel of John, chapter 20, verses 24 to 29. Jesus appears to Thomas after the crucifixion and resurrection, and it reads, "One of the 12 disciples, Thomas, was not with the others when Jesus came. They told him, 'We have seen the Lord,' but he replied, 'I won't believe it unless I see the nail wounds in his hands, put my fingers into them, and place my hand into the wound in his side.' 8 days later, the disciples were together again, and at this time Thomas was with them. The doors were locked, but suddenly, as before, Jesus was standing among them. 'Peace be with you,' he said. Then he said to Thomas, 'Put your finger here and look at my hands. Put your hand into the wound on my side. Don't be faithless any longer. Believe.' 'My Lord and my God,' Thomas exclaimed. Then Jesus told him, 'You believe because you have seen me. But blessed are those who believe without seeing me.' Now there are people who have had spiritual encounters with Jesus himself and have seen visions which furthered their belief in God. But does this mean that they aren't blessed? Well, of course not. All this means is that your faith comes from a place where you already believed before you seen. In Paul's second letter to the church in Corinth, Paul says this one thing: 'This is why we never give up. Though our bodies are dying, our spirits are being renewed every day. For our present troubles are small and won't last very long, yet they produce for us a glory that vastly outweighs them and will last forever.' So we don't look at the troubles we can see now. Rather, we fix our gaze on things that cannot be seen. For the things we see now will soon be gone, but the things that we cannot see will last forever. Focus on the unseen and not the seen things. For the seen are things in this present life that have an ending, while the unseen things are eternal. So my question to you is, where has your mindset been recently? Has it been dwelling on things in the natural realm or the unseen? Have you been focusing on eternal or non-eternal things, or even earthly or heavenly treasures? So my message for you today is to redirect your mind onto what you think is the better mindset. I'm going to conclude with a story in the Bible which was told by Jesus himself. This story can be found in Luke chapter 16. The premise of this story is that there was a rich man who the Bible says was dressed luxuriously and also lived like such also. At the gate of his house was a beggar named Lazarus. Lazarus wasn't wealthy. He didn't have luxurious clothes. In fact, his body was covered in sores. The difference between these two men is that Lazarus was right with God, and the rich man wasn't. In fact, the Bible also says it is easier for a camel to enter through the eye of a needle than it is for a rich man to enter heaven. When Lazarus passed away, the angels from heaven came down to earth and personally escorted Lazarus to heaven, to the side of Abraham. When the rich man died, he was not worthy enough for angels to come and escort him. And so he died and was buried. In torment and pain and suffering, the rich man was in. He looked up at once, and there was a void where he could see Lazarus in a brand new body, sitting alongside Abraham in heaven. He asked Abraham to send Lazarus to dip his finger in water and to cool his tongue because of his great agony. But Abraham told him, "Do you remember how you treated your life on earth? You were wealthy and comforted while Lazarus was suffering. But now eternally you are suffering while Lazarus is living luxuriously in heaven." But this next thing that the rich man says is very interesting. He said to Abraham, "Please, I beg you, send Lazarus to my family, for I have 5 brothers. Let him warn them of this place so that they do not come here." But Abraham told him, "No, they already have Moses and the other prophets. Let them listen to them." But the question here is, if the rich man's family on earth was capable of knowing God already through the scriptures, why would he be scared that they may also end up in hell? The answer is because he knew that they may be so foolish to make the mistake of not believing in hell because they never seen it, just like he did.